Hello, viewers. I am Dr. Smarta from India. I am chairman of a consulting firm, Interlink. Interlink, we really enter into the transformation as well as empowerment of organizations right from beginning, and also we handhold them to really achieve the results. We are basically a business performance consultancy. Today, we have come together on giving you Nutrabytes with me, that is Dr. Smarta. Today, we have a very empowered and also innovative, let's say, entrepreneur as well as organization with us, Mr. W.H. Leong. He is CEO of Excelvite, Malaysia. Now, we will be discussing with him a lot during this particular episode. And I would like to really you to be working on the same kind of lines, if you feel so, as he is an important example for all of us, how innovation and how from a different kind of discipline which he comes from, like engineering, and also gets into the business and does a beautiful business or scalable business, as well as sustainable business. I think I would like to really welcome Mr. Leong for this particular discussion. Mr. Leong, please welcome. Please come forward. Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Smarta. I appreciate the opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you're well under the current circumstances
Right.
with regards to COVID-19.
Yeah.
But I'm well, thank you, and I'm happy to be talking to you this morning and sharing information about Excelvite and what we do, and basically, the whole culture of a company with regards to bringing branded ingredient with science to the Indian market. So I'm happy to be here. So thank you so much.
Right. Now, I would like to really ask you, because you have such an illustrious career you have, and also you are basically an engineer. Also, you have worked for P&G in oleo, let's say, chemicals plant, and you are manufacturing person. Being an engineer, how would you really look at that expertise of yours, and how are you really ensuring that expertise also works with your business now as you are CEO of Excelvite? That's the first thought which.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I studied actually biochemical engineering at the local university in Malaysia. And when I graduated, this opportunity came by with Procter & Gamble. They had this joint venture with a local plantation company called Felda. And they set up this company called Felda Procter & Gamble. In short, FPG, produce oleochemical from oil palm. And I joined them as a young engineer. I was involved in the startup and commissioning of the plant. And that gave me a huge amount of experience. That gave me a huge amount of expertise in terms of building a plant and commissioning a plant. And I was with them for about 3 years. I was involved in the startup. And when we went into production, commission production, then this opportunity came by to work for Excelvite, formerly known as Carotech. And I was a young process engineer back in 1993 then when I joined this company that looks into production of phytonutrients, extraction of phytonutrients from crude palm oil. And I built a plant, but that was in 1993. So it's a good about 28 years. And we have grown and expanded to where we are now. And currently, we are the largest producer of a unique form of vitamin E called tocotrienol, as well as mixed keratin from crude palm oil. So the experiences that I've gained as an engineer, as well as in production, commercial production, actually served me well when I started, when I joined as a process engineer with this company, Excelvite, to build a plant. And then I was about 10 years after I joined the company, from a completely different background, I moved into sales and marketing.
That's right.
and that's where I was asked to move to US, set up Excelvite in the US, and basically build the market for tocotrienol. Because when we started back in 1993, there wasn't any source of commercial source of tocotrienol at all. So XL White was the first one back in 1993. I was the first one to actually build the market for that branded ingredient in the US. So I was involved in sales and marketing since 1999 and until now. And as time progressed, yeah, I was asked to come back to Malaysia to take over XL White as their CEO. So I have been the CEO of XL White for the last 5 years, 5.5 years, and all those experiences actually taught me and gave me the right tools to actually manage the company in a way that the board wants me to, from the production, manufacturing, engineering, sales and marketing, as well as the science. So that served me well in terms of
Sure.
equipping me with the knowledge as well as the experiences to run XLY as their CEO.
I think it's amazing. Now, I think it's very important for me to really understand. Uh, one part is that why palm oil only, or why full stream of spectrum of palm oil. Second thing is that because as we sometimes in different industries, like a publication industry, we take a marketing person who is in publication rather than from outside. Because once he
Mhm.
knows this side of the table, probably he can handle the other side of the table. I don't know whether that happened in your case, because if you know the engineering and manufacturing, and perhaps I do not know, but you can really clarify, for the kind of products which you have, like ingredients, etc., knowledge of the manufacturing, knowledge of the nuances of manufacturing, quality, and all other aspects are very important to truly project as a marketing person. What is it that, if you can explain that?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, as you move from one position to another, which is completely different from your previous one, more importantly, the key word is adaptability, right? You
Yes.
need to be able to adapt. And that is the key word here, where you already have the skill set that you need. Say, for example, marketing of a telecommunication product and marketing a dietary supplement. You have the skill set, but you need to adapt. And when you adapt, then you learn the market and so forth. But the basic, the basic of sales or marketing, or the basic of engineering is the same in whichever industry that you are in. So the keyword here is adaptability as well as the willingness to learn. And I would also throw in the other one is, as I mentioned in our conversation earlier, is the passion. You must have that passion in order for you to go far. You must have that mindset that you need to be able to, that you will be able to be successful. It may not be now, but it will come, and that passion will drive that day-to-day grind, so to speak.
I agree.
So that's how
Why
I
would you agree?
adopt. Yeah.
Yes, but from the kind of oleochemicals, and also from the kind of, why only you have selected to the palm and the full stream of palm oil or carotenoids? What is the kind of journey towards that?
All right. When we started, actually, this company was started by the founder called David Ho. He's a pharmacist, and being a pharmacist, he has his own pharmaceutical company, and they have their own, besides the regular drugs, they also have a line of dietary supplements. And at that time, in the early 90s, before XLY was set up in 1993, he has to import carotene and vitamin E from the likes of
Oh,
BSF, from the likes of
oh,
DSM, yeah, imported into
okay,
Malaysia.
okay,
And he started looking why, we in Malaysia, as at that time in the early 90s, Malaysia was the largest producer of crude palm oil in the world. All right. And palm oil has been known in literature, or has been documented in literature, to have the highest form of carotene, as well as the highest form of a unique form of vitamin E called
okay,
tocotrienol. And he thought to himself, why don't we look into ways and methods to extract these two, vitamin E and carotene, from our own local resources, as
yeah,
opposed to import it overseas from BSF and DSM and so forth. So that's
yeah,
why he embarked on this R&D journey into looking into a integrated process for the extraction of tocotrienol, vitamin E, as well as mixed keratin from palm oil. And that's how we started back in 1993.
uh,
And I was one who looked into the patent. We have a process patent, and to scale it up from a benchtop, lab scale benchtop to commercial application. And that's how we started. And at the moment, currently now, we are the largest producer of tocotrienols, which is a very unique form of vitamin E, which we will go
Yeah.
into, in terms of what are the unique benefits of tocotrienols, and mixed keratin from crude palm oil.
How it is different from vitamin E if it's
All
a
right.
kind of such kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good question. What we do, the vitamin E in crude palm oil is very unique in the sense that it is called tocotrienol. Whereas all of us has been brought up to look at vitamin E as a single form, which is the tocopherol. Traditionally, yeah, since historically, the companies like DSM and BSF, they extract or they supply the vitamin E, and they extract the vitamin E from soybean oil.
Okay.
And the vitamin E in soybean oil is called tocopherol.
Okay.
All right. And that is different from the vitamin E that is extracted from palm oil.
From the palm
So
oil.
in a
Yeah.
nutshell, there are two forms of vitamin E: tocopherol, which is from the soybean oil, and the tocotrienols, which is mainly extracted from palm oil. They are both a vitamin E, but they are different in the sense that the tocotrienol molecular structure of tocotrienol, it has 3 double bonds on the tail. So that's why they call it three, and the double bond enol, tocotrienol. And because of this 3 double bonds, it confers tocotrienol unique characteristic, unique health benefits that are not shown by the regular tocopherol. And up to now, yeah, the first published paper on the unique form of tocotrienol was published in 1985 on cholesterol reduction. So up to now, there are about like 7 or 8 unique benefits of tocotrienols over the regular tocopherol. First of all, as I mentioned, tocotrienol has been shown to reduce cholesterol level by inhibiting the production of cholesterol in the liver. The regular tocopherol does not. Yeah, the tocotrienol has been also shown to prevent stroke-induced injuries at a very, very low level compared to the regular tocopherol. Thirdly, tocotrienol has been shown to also reverse arterial blockage in human clinical studies. The regular tocopherol does not. And fourth is that the tocotrienol is also shown to be very effective in preventing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, whereas the regular tocopherol is not as potent. And because of these 7 to 8 unique benefits that are associated with tocotrienols, the market and everyone basically term the tocotrienol as the super vitamin E, a super form of vitamin E compared to the regular tocopherol that we are used to. So that is what's unique about
That's
tocotrienols.
right.
That's what
In fact,
we are.
yeah. In fact, because of molecular structure, does it become stable?
Uh, it is stable. People would think that because of the 3 double bonds, it would not be as stable as the regular tocopherol.
Okay.
But actually, in our own research and as well as formulation, because of the tocotrienols is actually in its own complex that is extracted from a palm oil is very stable. Our product is actually stable for more 3 years. In terms of shelf life that we give guarantee to our customers is 3 years. But when they form into finished product like soft gel and so forth, the stability is actually more. So
Yeah,
there is
because I
no
think
issue in terms of stability, even though it has 3 double
that's
bonds on it.
yeah, that's where the issue is in terms of shelf life as well as the kind of life which is there available for selling. So it could be minimum 2 years or more
Correct.
than that. Yeah. So
Exactly. Exactly.
in comparison to other right. Now you said about some tools you really understood over a period of time in managing the business.
Okay.
What do you say by that? What are the tools which you have managed, arranged, or understood in your learning
In
journey?
terms of the tools that are used in the company, is that what you
Yes,
are?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
yeah, when we first when I came in as a CEO, obviously there are a lot of responsibilities, heavy responsibilities. Basically, the board set the tone, so to speak, in terms of where they want XLY to be and what they want me to achieve as the CEO of the company. So there was a lot of heavy responsibilities there. And when I look at Excel Vike, one of the main culture, the tools that I use, in fact, there are two that I would like to share with the audience. Hopefully they would be able to learn something from it as well, and hopefully it will work for them too. Yeah, it may work for Excel, but it may not work for the other company. So you may have to look in terms of how to adapt that into your organization. But there are two things that actually come to mind, as when you ask me in terms of the tools that I use within Excel. First of all, is the ownership culture. All right, I have this culture that I inculcate within all the employees, right from the cleaners all the way to the CEO as well to the senior managers, is the concept of ownership. Basically, nothing in ED is someone else's responsibility. It is everyone's responsibility. All right, the culture of ownership. Basically, whatever each employee, irrespective of your position within the company, irrespective of your seniority within the company, whatever yet you do will affect the other person. And all of us have these shared responsibilities, collective responsibilities that we will eventually affect the company. So that is a culture that I adopt within XLY in terms of the ownership. That's important. And then the second thing is that uh, more importantly is the question of why. Why do we do what we do? All right, the big WHY. And that is one
Right.
thing that I want to inculcate and ask and so that all my employees know the why. Why do we produce what we do? Not how, not when, not what we do, but it's why. And when you know the why, you know the purpose of doing what you do at XLY, producing what you produce, the question, the answers to the why, then you would know the direction. You would know where we want to head to. All right. Importantly, as running a company is like steering a ship. I think that may sound cliche, but it is so apt that every employee needs to know the why. When they know the why, they know where to steer the ship without me having to micromanage them and so forth. So it is important for everyone to, or within the Excel Byte, to know the why, the purpose of why we produce what we produce. All right.
Very,
And
very
and
good.
obviously, go ahead.
In fact, very good, Leong. I think passion mixed up with your mission and also responsibilities which you have shared. I think that's an excellent tool which really managing people. Right now,
Yeah.
we in Interlink, yeah, we in Interlink, we do a lot of work on sustainability part of it. Right, because there are a lot of sustainability, then the scalability. First, the introduction. But so, how would you like to really, and how have you geared it up for sustainable business? Because they are the
Mm,
ingredients. From
mm,
there, you made it to the branding of them. What you exactly
mm,
did, what did in branding, and from there you are talking about something which is sustainable. Last
mm,
5.5 years, you are CEO. So obviously,
mm.
you must have given some landmark markers, something like that in your mind. How do you really proceed with that in
All right.
sustainability point?
For Excel Byte, we have two parts to it: sustainability from the raw material side as well as
Correct.
sustainability of the business side.
Right.
Because we extract the phytonutrients, the tocotrienol, super vitamin E, as well as the keratin from palm oil. And as you are aware, in Europe and in the Western countries, palm oil has been an issue with regards to sustainability in terms of to make sure that we don't have deforestation, to make sure that the raw material, the crude palm oil, doesn't come from peatland, and we have no exploitation of workers and so forth. So Excel Byte, it has been a long journey to ensure that we source sustainable palm oil. We are currently now a RSPO certified company, as well as we are a MSPO certified company. So basically, we have all these sustainability program within XLY to ensure that we only use sustainable palm oil in our production or extraction of the keratin and vitamin E tocotrienols. So that is on that part. And in addition to that, we also collaborate with the likes of World Wildlife Fund, WWF, in terms of together with them helping those smallholders, those palm oil plantation smallholders to achieve sustainable certification. So we work together in collaboration with them as well. So that is on the supply chain sustainable question. As far as the sustainability of the company as an ongoing concern, going into the next 100 years, the next 50 years. And that is a whole different ball game altogether. All right, and that's how, and as far as my direction with regards to the company is that obviously what we need to do is that we must have a purpose. First of all, we must have a purpose, the why of why Excel White is actually in existence at all, as well as the purpose so that we can share that with your customer. Besides the science that we produce, besides the quality that we have to ensure our quality management system in terms of ISO or certification. And we are also the only GMP certified tocotrienol and keratin producer
Oh, I
in the
see.
market.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical GMP, not just a food or
Right.
dietary GMP, but a
The
pharmaceutical GMP, a
pharmaceutical.
PICS
Excellent.
stroke S. So that is important for us to ensure our sustainability. And third that I can look up is in terms of science. We are, most of my customers are all mainly in the nutraceutical market, dietary supplement market, in food, as well as cosmetics. We are not a pharma company. All right. So in order to sustain the business moving forward in the future for the next 50 years, we must also invest in science. Yeah,
Sure.
because there's a lot of and there are impression in the market that we are in the dietary supplement market and it's not proven. The science is not proven. So much so that is that a snake oil and so forth. But as far as Exava is concerned, we put a lot of emphasis, a lot of investment in conducting human clinical studies. And I'm proud to say that our branded ingredient, the Evinol Superbio, it is the most researched tocotrienol in the market. We have more than in terms of clinical studies, in terms of human clinical studies, we have more than 18 published human clinical studies, and that is all
Excellent.
peer-reviewed journals. And we also have about like 10 to 12, about 10 approved in the pipeline, ongoing current human clinical studies, and that will actually sustain our business to look into. All right, if tocotrienol can do this, can it do better than the regular tocopherol? And can it do better compared to other ingredients as well? And I believe, as a CEO, as obviously a science person as well, I believe science will actually eventually carry the product into the future. Without science, yes, you may last for 1 or 2 years. You can't be sustainable. And in order for the business to be sustainable, science is a huge part of the equation. Besides the support that we give to customers, besides the marketing that we do, science is actually underlying foundation of what we do. And that's what we emphasize a lot in science. And we are actually the company that actually put in a lot of funding. We work with independent universities, research organization to come up with all those research. And if I may, we are actually on the human clinical studies on brain protection, on neuroprotection, where tocotrienol has been shown to reduce the injury from stroke, especially among those hypertensive subject patient. We have actually collaborated with Ohio State University Medical Center for the last, since 2000, for the last 20 years to build up that science, to build up that clinical studies. Yeah, so, and that's what will sustain my business in the future.
Yes. I fully agree. And the kind of passion which you have in telling science, that you have, it's like dipped into science and come out of the science, that kind of thing. I think it's a very, very important, I would say, aspect of your business.
Correct.
Which are your, if you remember now 5.5 years or more than that, which are your very pleasant, very satisfying and also pleasing moments during this particular journey?
I think if you ask me to choose one, of course there are many. There are many that are related to what my employees have done. I think without the support and the commitment from all the employees, currently now we have about 238 employees, but without their contribution and commitment, we wouldn't be where we are at the moment. So there are many. When you ask me, there are many cases or many incidents that I'm proud of. Especially mainly surrounding my employees in terms of what they have done and so forth. But I think the most satisfying one is when we get recognition from external parties.
Like,
All right. For me as a CEO, yes, we can tell we are doing this, we can do that. But then if it's not recognized or acknowledged by external independent party, that is just within your company. So for me, the most satisfying is when we get recognition from outsiders or from our customers as well. And one of it is the award that we won, which is the Prime Minister's Award. All right. We
cheers to
competed.
you. Cheers to
Yeah,
you.
thank
Cheers to
you. Thank you. That was back in 2018, 2019, where we were awarded the highest award for a company, a mid-tier company, not a small, but a mid-tier, not a multinational, but a mid-tier company in Malaysia. We were awarded the Prime Minister's Award, and they call it the AKI in Malay, which is the Anugerah uh, 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 industry. So that was the biggest recognition that we XLY
Right.
had, and I was proud of that. And at that time, I remember, I went on stage to shake hand with the Prime Minister of Malaysia. At that time was Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. So that was a great achievement for not just me, for all the employees of XLY. And I think that is the biggest or the proudest
Sure.
moment that I have as a
Sure.
CEO of XLY when we are recognized by the government and we are recognized by external parties.
Right. And so also, just to reverse that question, which was your most disappointed moment where you really required as a challenge or risk or whatever you take it?
Okay. The most, in terms of disappointment, obviously there are a lot. Being in manufacturing, I wouldn't be telling the truth if I say that there's no disappointment. There are many as well as my achievement as well as I'm proud of. But in terms of disappointment, is that I think in terms of recollection, the most recent one is that the fact that I wasn't able to be with my employee when the COVID-19 hit. That was in March and in April and June last year. Because I'm actually based in Melbourne. Dr.
Okay.
Smarta, if you're not aware of, I'm
That-
based in Melbourne. And
okay.
pre-COVID, I go back to Malaysia practically every month. I spend about
Mm.
2 weeks in Malaysia, 2 weeks in Melbourne. So I
Yeah.
practically spend half of my time in Melbourne and half of my
Yeah.
time in Malaysia. I think the biggest disappointment, if in terms of the reason one, is that I wasn't be able to be with my employee when at the height of COVID, because um, I understand the difficult situation at that time in Malaysia. Everything was locked down. Everyone was scared in terms of being infected by COVID. So that was I think my biggest disappointment was that I wasn't able to be with them during that period, that difficult period. But touch wood, we managed to sail through it. And even though we were running at very reduced workforce, but all my employees, they pulled through, they contributed, even though they put themselves at risk coming to work, and so forth. So at that time, there was a lockdown in Melbourne, lockdown basically everywhere in the world. So I think if you ask me, I think that was my biggest disappointment, that I wasn't be able to with my employee during that time.
I think this shows your concern for your people, as you are right from beginning. We are building up in this particular important issue. Now, last
Yes.
one before I
Okay.
really say that, okay, now there are many viewers who are really would like to really build up their businesses, looking at you, looking at others. What kind of very specific, I would put it this way now, that you are from the engineering, you are from the production side, and also leading the business. What kind of thought process you feel as a passionate person really communicate to
Mm.
others?
I think more importantly, okay, in terms of as I mentioned, yeah, for me, passion is the most important aspect in allowing someone to do well in what he or she does. All right, you must have passion first of all. If you don't have the passion, then you won't be able to sustain. You won't be able to even sustain you for the next 1 month, let alone 50 years down the road. The passion has to be there first. To me, passion is a very important aspect of running the company. And where do you get that passion from? All right, people say, yeah, passion. Yeah, but where do you get that passion from? And one one of the main thing about passion is that you must know the why, as I mentioned earlier, the purpose of you being or working in that company. What is your purpose? Your purpose, the why. Are you bringing something that would help the to help the consumers, to bring benefit to them in terms of their general well-being? So that is important because that will actually fit into your purpose, into your why, and to your passion. So that is important for me. And second of all is being the CEO of Excelvike is obviously because we are in dietary supplements, we are in nutrition, we are in well-being. Running the company, yes, fine. We need to maximize the shareholders' value and so forth. We need to make money, but more importantly is to be a responsible nutrition company, right? We
I
must
think
not
that's you
be
said it. Yeah,
yeah,
you
a
said it. I think that's very
responsible.
important.
Correct.
Nutrition company.
Besides the commercial aspect of running a company, besides the P&L, besides the business, the sales revenue, you must be responsible. It has to be a responsible company, right? And that's where consumers and customers will appreciate what you do. And one of the another thing is that I always, especially those salespeople in my sales team, I always drill in them that you do the thinking for the customer, right? You do the work for the customers. You lighten their work in terms of besides the science, you do the thinking for them. That will lighten the work, and you are being responsible. Obviously, being responsible meaning that whatever you share with your customers are all based on science, based on facts, not based on something that you pluck from the air and so forth. So that's where actually underlines or underpin the responsibility of a company. You have to be a responsible nutrition company as well.
Thank you, Leong. Very, very nice to really talk to you. And in fact, I am enlightened a lot of things in a lot of ways. That is very good, very good. So nice to spend time with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Smarta. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And if your audience wants to know more about Excelvike and the product that we use, as well as the unique benefits of the tocotrienol super vitamin E, they can visit our website, www.excelvite.com, excelvite.com, or you can visit the educational website for tocotrienol, which is tocotrienol.org. Yeah, tocotrienol.org. So you can get lots of information, heaps of information from there, and feel free to get in touch if you need more information from us.
Great. That's very, very good. Nice. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you, Dr. Smarta. Thank you for having me. I really
Thank you,
appreciate the
Leong. Thank you.
opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You must have heard and seen Leong, how passionate he was in terms of building his business. I think it's very important for all of us to learn from him, and which I have learned also today, how important it is to invest in science to maintain the sustainable business. I think that's a very important grounding statement he has made it when we really were discussing with it. Similarly, adaptability, passion, why not? I think these are the very simple thing. But I think from simplicity, the biggest thing can be really worked out. This is an example, Excelvite and Leong also, who is responsible for this, and who is concerned. I could see that very clearly. He is concerned about his people, their well-being, their way to look at it, and also sharing the responsibility. On one hand, we have a concept of accountability. On the other hand, we have a responsibility. But it's something which is very important for all of us to have a shared responsibility, where we develop a good business and organization. I must really thank Leong to really give this kind of wisdom to all of us. Thank you very much. See you next time in next episode.